Okay, so we get started here with our first Facebook Live video cast that we have done to train folks on the new Facebook Zero and getting smart. So we are going to talk about the news, the new algorithm, what it means. We're going to share our analysis of the news, of the coverage, of some of the drama. And want to remind everybody that we are here to help you remain calm and get smart. It's always useful to know the rules of the game that you're playing. So that's what we're going to talk about today. And then some logistics. Just want to say that technology willing, we will be recording this, and then we will share this at the end. And we have about a half an hour of analysis and then recommendations, and we'll take any questions, additional questions that you may have at the end. You can just put those in the chat window. And I see Julie's there. Hey, Julie. I know that Megan was unable to join today. So, hey, Megan, just remotely, we will be making a recording. So I'm just going to get started and jump in here. So Facebook Zero. So what is the big change? First of all, so January 11th, 2018, Facebook announced a major change. This is not a tweak. This is a major change to the algorithm. And basically indicating they wanted to get back to their roots and their core and original purpose of to bring people closer together and build relationships. Sounds simple as on the top, but actually has some fairly wide-reaching implications. And just to clarify, the emphasis on all these slides is mine. So really, this is designed to bring people together and to have more positive associations with their Facebook experience. It is designed to have less of a focus on relevant content, what's been known as relevant content, and more on meaningful social interaction. And this will be done using both public and personal pages data within the algorithm. And it'll be rolled out over the upcoming months. I saw a change immediately the next day, starting January 12th on my feed, and it's sort of gone back a little bit. So I think they're sort of playing a little bit with that algorithm. And then if you are doing ads, it's not going to impact your ad program. It's a separate program. This is just for the news feed. So how to read the future, something that we spend a lot of time thinking about here at ThinkResults, and how is it that we can intuit what's going to be happening. So specifically for this particular change, we looked very carefully at the press release from Facebook and then made some interpretations from that. So the quotes that you'll see in bold, those are directly from that January 11th press release. So one of the first ones is we will also prioritize posts from friends and family over public content. So this means it's about, your nephews and your cousins and your sisters and your mom, and those kinds of things will be prioritized over, say, a video from Tasty or something from ThinkResults, for example, because we are public content. So what's more valuable is peer-to-peer interaction in this change. And another really important thing to know is that everyone is going to take a hit. You're probably going to see a drop in your metrics, and that isn't your fault. Even Facebook itself has said people are going to spend less time on Facebook, and we're okay with that. So this is definitely a very significant change. Excuse me. Second quote from the press release. With this update, we will also prioritize posts that spark conversations and meaningful interactions between people. This is really important. So basically trying to encourage more back and forth conversation, not only between the person who posted it and the person who's responding, but what sort of the holy grail is that person A makes a post, person B makes a response, and then person C makes a commentary into person B. So there's a conversation between the people that are commenting. That is the most valuable. So the other thing that they're really prioritizing is that long posts. So again, meaningful conversations, meaningful interactions. So not like, hey, great. And that's not what they're looking for. They're looking for more of the substantial comments, conversations, and interactions. I see we have Barbara and David. Hello, I see you just joined. And then, so what else is more valued now is live videos will be less prioritized. So live videos often lead to discussion among viewers. Oh, sorry, they will be more prioritized, live videos, among viewers on Facebook. In fact, live videos, this is my emphasis, on average get 6 times as many actions as regular videos. So regular videos, which are not live, so something that's pre-recorded, pre-produced, the tasty videos that I love to watch at night before going to bed, those will be deprioritized. Facebook Live, which is Facebook's own method of producing video, as we're doing right now, it's why we're doing it, they're really pushing Facebook Live for sure. There's also a whole other conversation going on about Facebook Watch, because they're setting themselves up now really to be a broadcaster, but that's a whole other, Get Smart series. So definitely Facebook Live is something that Facebook is prioritizing. It's their method of getting things in the moment out to people, and they're definitely seeing that there's a conversation happening more frequently around Facebook Live videos, even if they're live and then recorded, than something that's a pre-produced sort of canned video, so to speak. Another quote from the press release that's important. These are posts that inspire back and forth discussion, again, emphasis is mine, in the comments and posts that you might want to share and react to, whether that's a post from a friend seeking advice, a friend asking for recommendations for a trip, or a news article or video prompting lots of discussion. So what we can certainly intuit from this is that we want to be asking questions and encouraging that interaction when we post material to Facebook. Long comments, very, very important, not just sort of short, riffy comments. And then our final commentary here is this is not the time to be short with people in your conversation. Give meaningful and thoughtful responses to model and encourage the behavior that you want to see in your posts as well. There's a recurring theme here, you'll see. Conversation, conversation, conversation. So then the other pieces that are going to be more valued now, or sorry, what will take a hit now will be public content, sort of the reverse, as I mentioned. So including videos and other posts from publishers or businesses. So Zuckerberg specifically called out videos in the post to his personal page as the main reason for the unbalance in the news feed. So now I have to go out and find my tasty videos to watch those. They're less likely to appear naturally in my feed. Another quote from the press release from Facebook that we wanted to highlight is pages making posts that people generally don't react to or comment on could see the biggest decreases in distribution. Pages whose posts prompt conversations, again, between friends will see less of an effect. So if you have, for example, we don't anymore, we used to do these posts called Friday Funnies, and we would have these funny sort of marketing comics, which got a lot of interaction in the sense that people would like them or love them or ha-ha them, but they wouldn't make any commentary on them. So we have stopped those. So sorry, if you want those, we can probably find you another source, but we're not going to be putting them on our Facebook feed anymore because we'll take a hit as a result of those because people were not engaging with that content. So that's an example of something that would take a hit in this new algorithm. So old engagement tactics. So I know none of our clients do this, but just need to put it in here. So this is one of the comments, using engagement bait to goad people into commenting on posts is not a meaningful interaction, and we will continue to demote these posts in the newsfeed. Posts that ask people for help, advice, or recommendation, such as circulating a missing child report, raising money for a cause, or asking for travel tips, will not be inversely impacted by this update. So we have a couple of examples here of vote baiting. So, what's your goals for 2018? There's 4 options. That's considered to be a vote baiting. You'll sometimes see that as, do you like A, B, C, or D better? Those will not be favored. React baiting, just trying to get people to react. So we have this one here, like this. If you're an Aries, love this. If you're a Leo, it's, obviously they're looking for very specific reactions, and those will be demoted. And then share baiting, which I've never been a fan of, but share this with 10 friends to be entered in to win some contest, right? So those definitely don't do those. None of our clients are doing those, but don't go there because those will definitely cause you problems in the new algorithm. So some quotes from the VP of Facebook newsfeed. As I said earlier, this is bigger than the average tweak. This is not a tweak. This is a complete revision of the algorithm that Facebook uses, and it's very substantial. Another comment from him we thought was interesting. Comments are more valuable than likes. So I think I've sort of made this point, but really it's about conversation. So, liking is very easy. That's the whole point of liking. Whereas if I post something and you even especially on your phone, bother to type out a response, even if it's, 4 or 5 words, that's a lot more work than just clicking like. So that's what they're looking for in the new algorithm. Some of the specific things we would like would be like, we're going to be weighing long comments more than short comments. So we'll get into the specific recommendations for that as well. And I thought this was interesting, but it took me a while to sort of get it through my head. But on average, video content tends to facilitate less interactions because it's passive in nature. And this is not live video they're talking about. They're talking about those canned, pre-produced videos, which I guess is true. People sort of, look at them and then go on. They don't tend to have responses or commentary to them on average. And then, like I said earlier, ads completely separate. So it doesn't apply if you're doing ads. And we'll talk specifically about how ads and newsfeed interact. So some of the dramatic quotes from around the web, I'm not sure I agree with all of these. Michael Seltzner says, I think the days of traffic from the newsfeed to blog posts are dead. It's over, people. I think that's probably a little dramatic, but time will tell, and we'll see how this actually plays out. It's one thing to understand the algorithm, make changes. It's another to actually watch, measure, and manage your Facebook feed as you go on. I think Beth is correct. I think it will become more and more, and I've been saying this for a while, more and more necessary to invest in advertising. We've been seeing a correlation between whether a client is doing advertising and the extent of their organic reach. It's definitely correlated. Kiwi, for our nonprofit folks, definitely, this is for everyone, but it's from a nonprofit person, but pull back hard on things that don't get engagement, period. If you're not getting engagement with a certain style of post, stop doing those immediately. Another great recommendation from another nonprofit organization, from LaRue Miller, it's Kiwi again, is an ambassador program. So this is something we'll talk a little bit more about in recommendations, but basically having folks who are willing to talk on your behalf. Because public pages will be demoted, the more we can encourage conversation from within the individual community that may surround your organization, the better that is. Some folks, in our client list are doing that better than others, but this is definitely something that you could create and encourage and give folks guidelines. So how to be smart following the update. So the things to not do. Let's start with the don't list. If you aren't already, download Insights, Facebook Insights, and use that information. You've always had this information, but it's important to actually look at it now. Look at what people are engaging with. And if they're not engaging with it, then stop those immediately. Like I said, we stopped our Friday funnies. Even though people love them, they don't, in Facebook's terms, engage with them. They don't put comments on it. They just put like, haha or love. Or wow sometimes, but they don't put engaging, meaningful conversation around it. So we've killed those. The other thing that has been true and is still true in other social media channels, but is no longer true in Facebook, is post frequency does not get you to exposure and reach. So this is something we have been advocating, and we're telling our clients just stop. It's now very much on Facebook quality over quantity. So scale back and look at those posts that are engaging, do more of those and less of the ones that are not. And like I said, we don't have any of our clients doing engagement bait, but don't have anything that might even look like engagement bait at this point, because it will really get you a big demotion kick from Facebook. So how to stay relevant in the new world. This is the starter, the easy do list. So one of the first things to do is enlighten your followers of the change. Many folks are not aware. I've seen a lot of conversation on Facebook like, hey, what happened to my Facebook feed? So it's definitely common knowledge in the marketing world, but not everyone is aware of it. There's also an interesting thing, a new feature that they've allowed called See First, and I'll go through a screenshot of how to do that. So you can set it up, you can ask your followers to set it up so that they see your page first. That will help. And then, as I said, download Insights. If you aren't already doing Facebook Insights, get in there and find out. Do more of the things that are working and less of the ones that are not. And then the third thing is encourage as much engagement, specifically comments, as possible. So this is something we've been harping on for years, but now, and Facebook has been heading this way for years. So in a sense, this is not a huge change. They've just made it very much a reality with numbers and algorithms behind it. So creating a nurturing and welcoming environment, making sure you're responding to comments, and aim for a 2-sentence minimum. We're being very specific on that. Someone's like, oh, we love your blah, blah, blah. Don't go, hey, thanks. Thank you for posting. Really appreciate your input. What specifically did you love about it? That would be a great response. It's going to encourage a conversation. It's more than a, hey, thanks. You've got to put some effort into this and create a conversation online. So test posting comments. We're doing some experiments ourselves with this. Some posting comments from personal pages that reflect back onto the public page post and seeing if that will help to drive some lift on the public pages. Ask questions, ask for opinions, recommendations, to encourage meaningful engagement. If that is something, the only thing you take away from this, that is what Facebook is aiming for, is meaningful engagement. So whatever you can do to do that within your community, keep doing that. Okay, and how to stay relevant. This is the advanced do list. So whenever possible, use Facebook Live Video. Right now we're using Facebook Live Video with the screen share extension, which I just discovered just before doing this, that you can either be live with me yakking at you, or you can have this where you look at the material I'm sharing. So that was a learning. I've only ever done Facebook Live for sort of, in the moment at an event type thing. I've never done it as a screen share. So good thing to know. But Facebook Live Video will be very much favored by Facebook. I think this is part of their overall strategy to become a place where people gather together and watch things together. The Facebook Watch channel is something that is expanding dramatically. So, sharing video content or watching video content together is the next level that Facebook is moving into. But like I said, that's a whole other, lunch and learn session. If you don't have an employee social media program and, rules and engagements for your employees and how to be a social media ambassador within your program or within your company, now's the time to start, because now you can really leverage those individuals and their individual feeds into your company. So if you don't have one of those, talk to us and we can help you get started with social media. Protocols, training, all the things you need to empower your employees to talk effectively and on brand about your organization. And this may be more applicable for nonprofits, but also for for-profits in terms of customers. But start an ambassador program. Same thing. Give them what they need to support you. There's many nonprofit supporters that may not be able to, for example, give a lot of money, but they may have a lot of time and they're active on social media. Train them and show them what we're teaching you here about how they can help you be more effective and be more engaged on Facebook. So talk to us about that and we can get you started with an ambassador program in the new era. So see first. So this is something that you can ask your supporters to do, or your fans and your followers. If you just hover over the following on, this is on the Quartz news page, but there's a liked and a following. If you hover over that, you're going to see this menu, and it's defaulted right now to default. You want to get them to click see first, and that way they will see your news feed first in their feed. So it will help with the prominence that you're going to have for them. So takeaways, and then we'll get into any questions. So Facebook is changing its algorithm over the upcoming months. So it depends on where you are. You may see this change immediately. You may have already seen it as I did. It may come later. It's coming over the next few months. and moving towards a more interaction-friendly newsfeed. Something I didn't mention earlier, we've gone to several seminars about this, and Facebook has done a lot of research around social impact. They're working with the Greater Good Science Center, and so some of their research more recently has shown that as a result of the heavy news, and I think the whole sort of, election cycle had something to do with that, but the heavy amount of news and sort of public content in the feed, people were actually feeling less happy the longer they spent on Facebook. So Facebook, doesn't want that. They want Facebook to be a positive experience. So that's why they're going back to sort of their original roots of making it much more about friends and family and engagement within the community versus passive, sort of reading bad news. So we talked about engagement baiting, but just don't go there. Don't go there. It's going to be bad. And this will be true for whether you have a public or a private page. So everyone has that same standard. But as I mentioned earlier, ads are not included. It's a separate system. And speaking of ads, paid acquisition, we've been saying this for a while, will likely become more relevant. I mean, this is how Facebook makes their money. This is just reality. The ad costs are expected to go up. They have been going up, and we're expecting to see that go up and continue to increase, but becoming an important part of an overall Facebook strategy. Likes and shares are not as valuable. Shares used to be fairly valuable, likes sort of valuable, but certainly those are less important now than comments and longer comments, not just one or two word, riffs. And then all pages, this is the painful part, all pages, regardless of popularity and regardless of how well you're doing all of these things, are expected to experience a decrease in core metrics. Facebook itself, as I said, has already said they're expecting and have seen people spending less time on Facebook as a result of this, and they're okay with that because they want to decrease the time and increase the happiness and the positive association with the Facebook experience. So that is the end. And I think, yes, we're right on schedule. So if you have questions, I don't know if you guys are going to have questions, but you have them, just type them in the little chat box there and I will answer them. So Julie, Barbara, David, anybody have questions? Oh, Karen's there. Hello. Really helpful. Okay, anybody have questions that I didn't answer? Okay. So if you don't have any questions, I'm going to end the broadcast. Of course, all of you know me well, so you can certainly contact me. info@thinkresultsmarketing.com or jen@thinkresultsmarketing.com. And then there's our phone number and our website, and you're welcome to check this out. And as I said, technology willing, this is going to be recorded, and we will get this out on our YouTube channel as well as a backup piece of information. So thank you all for joining us and taking the time out of your day to learn. And we are here to help and make sure that you remain successful in your social media. Thanks. Bye.